What is good, everybody? Today, we're going to go over the Saints' defensive performance from the Seattle Seahawks game. Ugly game overall. I mean, the Saints were down, 21-0 in the blink of an eye, largely because of special teams. But the defense, they did not play very well at all either. So let's get into the film. Alrighty, let's start with a little bit of the positive from this game because there was not much at all. But that being said, I did notice that the Saints run defense looked decent. Okay. They've looked, they've looked good at times, but they've also looked bad at times this season. But I thought for the most part against the Seahawks, who were, trying to run the game because they were already up 21-0 in the blink of an eye, I thought the Saints did a pretty nice job against the run here, right? And I thought in particular Pete Werner, especially early on in the game, he was flying all over the place. So, in this play here, the Seahawks are trying to run wide zone. I mean, Clint Kubiak, we saw him last year. He loves these wide zone plays, right? Trying to stretch the defense horizontally. But really, I want you to pay attention to what the linebackers do here. Demario Davis and Pete Werner. Now, Demario Davis sees a gap and he shoots it, right? And when he shoots it, Pete Werner sees that and he knows he has to scrape over the top of him, right? Essentially, sort of like a gap exchange type of deal here. So, you see everybody stretching horizontally. Davis sees this gap right here. He's trying to shoot this thing early, get the play over with, right? Gets picked up barely by this blocker right here. Gets a hand on him, right? And slows him up just a little bit. But look at this hole. Look at what the running back sees. The running back in his mind right now, he's thinking, oh my God, I see daylight, right? I could make a safety miss. I could run through a safety, no problem. But Pete Werner had other minds, had other ideas. Look at him, right? He's already fighting through a block, and then he's able to fight through that, scrape over the top, boom, make a nice hit. I mean, that is an excellent linebacker play. Scrape over the top, fight through a block, right? Boom, and make an excellent hit. It's also a nice job of Nathan Shepard getting off his blocks right there, getting off that double, coming off and helping Pete Werner right there. But it's a really nice play from both the linebackers right there. Essentially, Demario Davis is forcing him to cut that, to make sure he goes outside, right? Demario Davis, when he comes down like that, he's forcing that running back to bounce this thing outside where he knows Pete Werner will be scraping over the top into this gap because them two linebackers have played a lot of games together, right? And it works out perfectly. Next one here, this is going to be on a touchdown pass off of play action. Okay. And this is just poor discipline from the defense, just biting way too hard on this play action pass. And it just opens up that throwing window for Sam Darnold to hit his wide receiver coming over and then into the touchdown area, right? So, it looks to me like the Saints are playing, their version of cover three that they play. It looks like Reed is going to drop in this hook zone. We're going to have like a deep guy, a deep guy, a deep guy, a couple hook defenders, flat. We're going to have Granderson dropping into the flat. But it looks to me like Justin Reed here, who is supposed to probably drop into this hook zone area, is just going to bite way too hard on this play action pass. So keep your eyes on Justin Reed here. We get the motion, play action. Look how hard he bites. I mean, he comes way up here, right? I mean, Sam Darnold is already on the rollout with the ball in his hand, and he is way up here, right? And then over here, you have the receiver coming across into the area that Justin Reed would have been, and there's just a wide open throwing window, right? Reed can't get back there fast enough. Darnold throws a nice pass, and it ends up being a touchdown. Next one here, and I'll just say it down here at the goal line, just soft defense right here. Where the effort, this concerns me right here. Because, this ends up being a touchdown because of the effort put in by the running back and the Seahawks offensive line. It's just a zone to the left again with the fullback leading, right? You have Granderson out here fighting for his life, who actually does a nice job getting back to the quarterback or getting back to the running back and wrapping him up, right? We got Demario Davis right here trying, but the effort here, like, is this the best we can do here? Like, is that really it? Like, we're just going to let them fight through us for a touchdown right here at the goal line? And I want you guys to watch Isaac Yiadom. Like, what kind of effort is this, man? Like, just watch. Okay, so at this point, you don't have to stay backside. You know what's happening. You can come help your team. Like, at this point, Granderson's trying his heart out. Demario's over here fighting through it. Look at him just standing around. Mind you, still not a touchdown. We're still just standing around. And then they stretch it over for a touchdown. Like, what kind of effort level is that? That type of effort level is not going to win you any football games. I mean, this is just soft defense right here. Next one here, the Seahawks are going to be running a concept that Clint Kubiak killed teams on last year when he was with the Saints. Good old Yankee concept, deep post with a deep over, right? And it works against the Saints, you know, of course, because we get two flat-footed at the safety position right here. It's Justin Reed, right? Just backpedaling way too long in this. So again, we get to play action, right? But at this point, you know, if you're the safety and you see this, we can't be in a back pedal anymore. Like, we're still in a back pedal, and we're finally flipping our hips as the guy is running past us. Like, we ain't Ed Reed over here, man. You know, we ain't got that kind of ability. Good safety, but we ain't got that kind of ability. And then, you know, we just get smoked, right? And this is it's a good pass from Sam Darnold, but really, if he could even put this thing a little further out, this is probably a touchdown. You know, it's probably a, 75-yard touchdown, 80-yard touchdown, if he can put that thing out in front of him a little more. So just bad safety play, bad eye discipline, right? He's just looking in the backfield. You can see his eyes, right? But man, we got to turn around and play this receiver who is blowing past Kool-Aid McKinstry up here. You know, Kool-Aid lets off the inside release here because he knows that he has help inside with these safeties and with these underneath defenders. So he doesn't really, you know, you'd like to see him get hands-on here, right? But you don't. But really, this is just on the safety. He has got to turn around way quicker than this and try and make a play. You know, try to cover this receiver, man. The Saints are lucky here. It wasn't a touchdown, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't matter. Next one here, again, this is just, to me, effort. Like, this is just soft. It's soft defense. You know, they're just going to hit a rollout. Tight end's going to leak. And right there, play should be stopped. Play should be stopped right here at the 5, okay? But just watch the effort. Watch people standing around, looking. And it's taken all the way to the 1.5. Like, I don't know. You tell me, guys. Is this acceptable from the defense? Effort? I don't know. To me, it's not. Next one here. This is just like taking candy from a baby here. So Seahawks are just going to take advantage of the way the Saints defense lines up here. You know, you're going to get a DB out here who's going to be playing this deep zone. I'm going to assume Alontae Taylor here is going to be the flat player, right? But because he's playing like with inside leverage on the most outside guy, right? It's not unheard of. But again, it's just Seattle taking advantage here, right? Especially when you have this guy playing so far off, and then what you assume is a flat player inside. Well, okay, let's just take this guy from our outer bunch and run him on an out route. There's nobody out there, right? We know this is going to be our deep player. We know this is our flat player. Just take advantage of the alignment, and that's exactly what Seattle does. I mean, this is just easy. Look at this, down here at the bottom. Nobody there. Darnold puts it on him. They have a nice gain. I mean, just as easy as that, right? Taking advantage of the Saints' formation on defense. Next one here, I mean, I have no clue what the Saints are trying to do on defense. I really don't. So the Seahawks, they're going to get like a post. You're going to get Cup here who's just going to stop and sit down in the zone. And then you're going to have a couple of underneath checkdowns. And defensively, I mean, I don't get it. Like, it looks like here, you know, we're matching this guy. We're taking him deep. You know, it looks like this safety's playing a deep half. But then you have like these two guys who are dropping to the same landmarks inside. You know, Kool-Aid looks like he's taking it looks to me like it's all over the place, right? And at times, this is what it can look like when you play this match style of defense that Brandon Staley plays. So, I mean, like, if you look at this safety here, it looks like at first he wants to drop out, but then he kind of comes back down, but then he starts to backpedal again. And once again, like, what are you playing? If you're not playing this guy running right past you, what exactly are you playing here? And he just lets him run right past him. He doesn't end up getting the ball, but, you know, if you look down here, look at the linebackers. It seems like they sort of drop to the same landmarks. They almost run into each other. Right? And then Cooper Kupp here ends up getting passed off from Kool-Aid McKinstry, but he's passed off to like nobody. Kool-Aid comes down on the flat, and there's nobody here for Cooper Kupp. Just it's I mean, again, candy from a baby. Next one here, and the more I watched the passing attack from the Seahawks in this game, the more it was clear that this was just an out coaching done by Clint Kubiak versus Brandon Staley. You know, Kubiak knows what Staley likes to play. They like to play cover three match. And, you know, this is a good example. You know, you're going to send your tight end on a crosser here. You know that this linebacker likely is in a hook zone, and he's going to carry this tight end at least while he's in his zone, right? And that's going to open up the space to throw in this slant or short post behind it, right? Because we know this player is likely going to be backing off and playing deep. So just watch here how the tight end carries the linebacker, Werner, carries him this way, moves him out of the zone. This guy's a deep player, so it just opens up a nice throwing window here for this short post. How about Demario Davis, man? Still getting it done at his age. Watch the move that he puts on this guard when the guard tries to come off on him on this run here. Watch this little shake and make, boop, boop, boop. Get in the backfield, track that running back down, and make a tackle. The fact he's still making plays, really this nimble at this age where he can just put the guard in a blender like that. Boop, get off me, and make a tackle in the backfield. I love it. Shout out to Demario Davis, man. No matter how bad these teams are, the dude never stops, and it's just, you know, he deserves better, if we're being honest. That's really going to be it for the game because that's kind of all that happened. I mean, we got Drew Lock in the game. I mean, what does that tell you? There really isn't anything else to show. The defense, when they were on the field, they weren't very good. They were decent against the run, but when it came to the pass, they just had no type of pressure, no type of, like, the coverage was terrible, the effort was terrible, all around terrible job from the whole team. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Peace.